All right, I have hit the recording button. Welcome everyone in the future to watching this. This is Hot Takes for the Winter 2021 Elimination Round Tournament. I am Code Dameron. I am the architect of this nonsense card pool with kind of good cards in it. Currently, I am here in the unofficial official Star Wars Discord with a bunch of friends. I'm gonna have little chat bubbles up on the side here, so you can see who's talking when they're talking. And we're just gonna go through the lists. So where we are right now is this is the state of the elimination round tournament post. We're gonna look at the bracket, and right now Mick has not posted the lists. Mick is the only person besides the people who actually have the lists who knows what the lists are. Mick will hit the post button. We will all look at the list. We will all laugh at them. We will all give each other all sorts of crap for the bad cards in our decks, and we will all say who's going to win this tournament.
Love it.
Love it. All right, Mick, give it. Let's talk about the bracket first.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not sharing my screen on the thing. Should I share my screen on Discord too? No, I'm not gonna do that. That could be weird with latency issues. You guys can look at the thing on your own. You guys know the links. Look at all the friends we got. We got a lot of friends in here.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks everybody for showing up.
Yeah. This is a fun way to do this, I think. First thing I notice, Mick, why do you got to put New York in a corner?
New York gerrymandered themselves into that lower right-hand corner. Like you can see that everything was set up, the seeds the exact same way it was during our top 15 in the summer. They wanted to be in their own little corner. So, New York in the semifinals, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know.
Wait, Colby, can you put up the bracket on like a screen somewhere?
It's recording. Everyone who's watching this in the future can see it, but you have to do some of your own legwork. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. No. Just wanted to know.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about that lower right-hand corner with all the New York guys still, or?
I don't know if any of them, the representatives, are here, but I was hanging out with them. We might just all hang out on Saturday, probably in this Discord, and just do the bracket.
Just hammer out all those games.
Let's just hang out and play cards.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Who has the edge in that little corner? So you have Xavier playing Jim, Donovan playing John Alf, and then the winners play each other.
Mm-hmm. So
do any of them run good against the other ones?
Jim
typically?
has never beat Xavier, according to him.
It also depends on how much.
According to who, Xavier or Jim?
According to Jim.
Okay, so then it's true.
My votes go on Jim. Jim is a monster, and he's built a cool deck.
Wait, didn't you say he's 0 for life against Xavier?
Yeah.
Self-admittedly 0 for life, by the way, which is it's a lot bigger deal.
He's due.
His time is now.
I think Jonoff in the Donovan Jonoff matchup. I actually want to hear their comments. I think Jonoff is actually running a modified version of Donovan's dark side deck. So Donovan's the architect of that. So I would give Donovan the edge on the dark side.
I've seen the deck lists, and there are some interesting matchups here.
So
and that one's going to be kind of a mere dark side matchup with a few tweaks. They went slightly different directions.
Looking at the top, Mr. Howell, have you ever played James?
Probably no, not. I don't believe so.
He's got some credentials, but we were talking about him earlier. Oh, James is here. Okay, James is washed. That's my call. I'm giving this to you.
Oh, no mercy.
James, you got anything to say for yourself? You're muted.
He's won major tournaments, unlike Colby.
Hello. What do I have to say for myself? I want to have fun. I want to try to play 5 games because I want this to be intense.
Yeah,
that's
up to the 5th game.
That's a bad way to clap back. Colby comes in hot telling you that you're washed, and you go, I just want to have fun.
James says, I want to lose 2 games.
Well, so to further that point, though, so that was the wash division where you got James, and you have Tyler, and you have Ethan. And
Oof.
at least James proved he was not quite as washed as the other two guys. But he's in as a 3 seed.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
Yeah, coming out of the Tyler division isn't really that impressive.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not very sweaty in Star Wars anymore.
Anymore.
I used
can
to
hit
be
your
a little.
stride in the elimination
I
round.
used to be a little bit sweaty, not anymore.
James
still
with his
sweaty,
cap
buddy.
ships. James, I have one of my most aggravating losses against James's cap ships. He plays like 10 bombs and passes.
Are we just going to glaze over the fact that Colby said James has some credentials? Dude has motherfucking card design. Where's yours, Colby?
I'm sorry.
Ooh,
Half of the cards you've been playing with this cycle, 1 were orchestrated by me. 2 were
here we
designed
go. Here we go.
by me and
Here
Tyler.
we go.
Go win 2 seasonals and come back to us.
Yeah, this is 2021 now. We're in a new reign. Okay, let's talk about Josh's match. Josh, you and Mitch. Is Mitch here? Yeah, Mitch is here.
He's also muted.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
think this is going to be an exciting match.
Josh.
Can we see the deck list on that? Because like
We will,
skill-wise,
we
that's
will.
pretty close.
Okay, we'll look at the things. All right, I think I win my first round.
I haven't even looked at who I'm playing yet, but I'm never one to, decide who's won a game before playing it, unlike some people.
I've won my first round before playing it, so
You have, yeah. You've advanced to the quarterfinals.
Well, you know what, Josh? I'll do you a solid and I'll talk shit for you. I think Josh has got one in the bag right here. This is over. This isn't even going to be close.
I think Josh doesn't advance.
Woo!
I think it's 0-3. He's out. Maybe.
is that Brad?
Yeah.
I barely snuck.
Oh, Brad is here. Brad, you
Yeah,
don't even play this game anymore.
Still have more trophies than you, Colby.
Ooh.
Shit. Now I can't trash talk anyone when Brad's in the room. Damn.
I don't have to help my fan designs because I got a real one, Chief. Got official company logos on the bottom and everything.
That's a yikes.
That's a yikes. Cure mode Yoda Man. Is Yoda Man here? Yoda Man's here. Yoda Man, can you beat Daniel?
If I remember right, I think the very first game I ever played against Daniel in a tournament, I won, and I haven't beaten him since.
Do that again. I want to play you.
Hey, you're due here.
Yeah.
I have a dream where the 3rd seed in the green team takes the whole tournament. You gotta make that dream happen, Bill.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's happening. But I distinctly remember playing Daniel in that online tournament. That was when we were, stuff was still official. And I won the first game, and the second game he pulled out the Kraken deck that I think nobody had ever seen, or very few people had seen. I'm like, what the hell is that? It just rocked me.
Did he go infinite on you?
No, that deck was just a thing of beauty.
That was like 2, if I remember right. It was just like crazy.
I know that list by heart. It's double Yoda, double Owen, Kyle Katarn, Obi-Wan, 2 Kraken, 2 I Have You Now Luke. What a great list.
Yeah, the Infinite, I was in the shop at that time, but it wasn't fully baked yet, right? Like I was still trying to do a lot of what's it called? It binds all things to make the Infinite work, and then also did a lot of like dash mill by making your opponent draw shenanigans. I hadn't quite crystallized the idea, but in trying all of these Infinite combos, that's where I figured out that Kraken was good. Where I'm like, oh, this guy can sometimes just have 4 bombs. That's kind of relevant.
I have a question. Why are we still talking about this deck that did nothing in 2021?
We're just talking about PTSD.
I really can't tell
Dead
the
game,
difference
none of it
between
matters.
you explaining this deck and fucking mixed cat. I can't hear the difference.
So Bill is due though, because I've been running really well against him for years. At some point, he just has to like roll the nuts. just
Oh, wow.
knock me out.
He's got to roll the nuts to win. The umpire just can't strike back, Danny.
We'll see. I'm not counting.
He's got decks that can do it.
All right, is Jolly Roger or that name was taken here? Or Ivan or Justin? Justin's new, right?
So this is the little corner that's largely or non-US. Yeah, I think Justin's in like Australia.
Yeah, Justin.
Ivan's UK. Carlos is Latvia.
Yeah, that sounds
Jolly
right.
Roger is North Dakota, so that's its own little place too.
Mick, you post a list? The lists?
Okay, getting ready to post the lists. Here we go.
All right.
Right.
I'm gonna.
Lists are there.
All right, so I'm on me. So I'm just gonna go down in order, and everyone else can just kind of follow along. But my screen is showing on the thing. I'm actually gonna put this. Is this at all useful? If I'm gonna just kind of keep the card pool here as well. Okay, my lists. Do you want to hear me talk? What do people think of my lists on first blush?
I don't know. I don't think they're worth looking at right now. I haven't boxed stuck.
All right.
Where are we even looking at these things right now?
That's posted on cardgamedb.
Oh, I can post.
I've seen all of the lists. Colby, you're the only so it's basically a mono Jedi list, with triple tactics Yoda and a Gamor, right?
Not allowed to flop Gamor.
And you're not allowed to flap Gamor because that'll mess up Yoda's hut. What's Gamor doing in this deck?
So it was Ahsoka for a while because it kind of fit the theme, and I was running 2 Ezra instead of the 2 Luke. Because I was doing the Jedi Fate card thing, and I was seeing how it worked. I realized I really liked I liked quad deflection. But I needed more bombs and just more units with stuff. When I went to 2 Luke, 2 Yoda, 2 3PO, I have all these 1-cost units, so the Marauder's actually good. The deck is about winning the Force, so like I think I actually beat Jim. You were there, Mick, with holding the Force with the +3 dots. Yeah. It was disgusting. I just think it's a pod that wins more if you're winning the Force, and it had black bombs.
You're going to be able to get that hyperspace Marauder out, and between it and Yoda's hut, you'll be able to just keep those.
And between the hired hands and the wolf, the hands and the wolfman, they're free units. There's so much free value in this deck. They don't die because they all get deflection, and you win on attrition with this deck.
Yeah.
Note, I'm not running Rex. I haven't seen the lists obviously, but I expect that every list has Rex in it. That's just my opinion of the format, and I think every list.
There's actually so while I think Rex is going to be the most popular light side objective, there are a couple archetypes that don't run him, and you're one of those archetypes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're the only person on this style Jedi list. I like the quad deflection. That's a lot of destruction.
It's mean.
But why did you move away from Ahsoka? Nobody's running Ahsoka in this one, but I think like she can do some nice things.
She didn't do it. She certainly didn't do enough.
Yeah, not enough in this card pool.
And I needed more bombs. I needed more units that had bombs.
Colby, I will say that I was very high on the mono Jedi list. I just think the Rex deck was better. But like, it's not like the Jedi list was bad. It does a lot of disgusting things, and sometimes Yoda's hut just insta wins you a game.
And that's what the one Corrin Horn helps with. Like, you get Yoda's hut sometimes.
Jedi Reflexes is really good too.
Oh, Jedi Reflexes is gross.
It's okay. It's better when you win the edge. It really just gets you 2 or 3 guns from Luke, and like when you defend most of the time. Sometimes you can do an Obi-Wan thing. Jedi Reflexes without like May the Force Yoda is a very different card. It's a reasonable card.
Yeah, it's a reasonable card. How does this deck do on edge? Because you're going to be going up against a bunch of gladiators. Do you just like shield your Luke and not really care about edge?
I don't care about I do actually have trouble sometimes with edge battles because I want Yoda on the Force. I want my board to be like Yoda 3.3 Yoda's hut, and then that's a lot of dots not in my hand. The way I deal with edge is I just take and hold the Force until I force them to attack me. Then I do whatever on defense, and then I have a free edge battle on offense. There's also some edge in the deck. There's 2 Wolfmen. There's 1 Corrin enhancement that gets an edge, and there's Corrin Horn himself. That's not nothing. It's got 2 twists. It's not dead in the water, but it's not great.
How many game points do you plan on giving your opponents with Ezra bumps?
I actually tied a game with, I think it was, I forget who it was. Maybe it was Srivenho? No, it was Drew. It was with Drew. I beat him pretty bad with the light side deck on board, but he got an extra dot from Ezra and an extra dot from Empire Strikes Back from Chimera, and it was a tie on the scoreboard. And I'm like, what the hell? I just destroyed you. He's like, yeah, I can attack you. Get a couple extra dots. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Also, I've learned my lesson about playing for game points, but I'm just gonna win or something. I don't know.
Right. So this dark side list is so we're going to see a lot of Navy scum hybrid decks. Some of them tilt more on the scum side, some tilt more on the Navy side. But this one has sort of the capture package.
Mm-hmm. It's only got 1 boba.
Double Dengar. Oh, you only have 1 boba, but you got the
I'm
pilots, scum pilots. So what do you see as what's attractive about that package there in Scum, with the Dengar and the pilot boba and the Zuckuss and Iggy?
Well, I got here with Jim. Jim just showed up, by the way. Hey, Jim. I got here with Jim after looking at really trying to make Sith Gladiators work. And I think Jim stuck with Sith Gladiators. I'll see his list. But I didn't like the high costs, so I ended up in Jawas. I really like Double Jawa because Sandcrawler is a monster, I think, in this format. A lot of characters don't like having focus on them and aren't elite, so you can over-tap them. And Double Jawa, I think, is one way to handle Double Rex. You can Utini all of his toys and twist away the things. I think Utini and Staz are the best ways to deal with nonsense 10-card edge hands on the light side. Gladiators and stuff are good. So when I did that, I had the Scum pilots, and those are just kind of in there because they're all kind of solid. I dropped Chimera because it wasn't gelling with the rest of the deck. The Tractor Beam's kind of weird. The money is really weird. But the Chimera is good, and I miss it sometimes, but it's alright without it. And I really just liked having Dengar eat all of the damage. I can just kind of not lose with this deck a lot.
Oh, with Heartless Tactics triggers?
And even the enhancement giving more health. Yeah. The plan is to not lose until the dial goes to 12.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's go to the next one. Let's look at Mitch's lists.
Yeah, we got full toolbox here.
Boy.
Well, I don't know if we've ever like whoever's going up against him. I think Josh is going up against him, and so I've looked ahead a bit. And Josh, I think, is one of the few people who's running Iggy D. And that's to you, Josh. It ain't gonna do shit in this matchup.
I think that's one of the things that got Jim off of Iggy D from playing Mitch. What are the colors in this list?
It's all of them.
It's all 3 colors with 1 Rex.
3 Smuggler, 4 Jedi, 3 Rebel.
Is it still only 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's only 10. He does have desert recruitment, and so he's got Dyson Rex for the influence money.
No Zeb, which I don't mind. I like the one Falcon. Like if this deck didn't have one Falcon, that's the pod I would add to it as a 1x.
So with Falcon, it sounds like Iggy D is going to do something.
How?
Oh,
Oh no, that's good. Oh yeah, the event is great. Oh, hi, Daisy.
see, I don't know about Watchers in the Wasteland for this deck because you kind of have to start the brown objective if you see it, but it does nothing. And then also, I don't know how often this deck can realistically win the Force by 3 to get the free Wolfman.
Yeah, I
I
can't
think
help.
this deck just plays threat after threat after threat.
Yeah, I think that's there, Danny, because it's just 2 more neutral units.
Oh,
I can't
Like,
help but. Sorry.
when you look at like all of these pods, they have a shitload of neutral units in them. So like if he misses the color, he can still play like half the pod.
I can't help but think that like you could drop something in there for a 2x and the deck becomes better. Like I gotta think that 2 Rex or 2 Luke is just better in this deck than something else that's here. But it does make it hard to predict.
What would you cut?
I'm looking at this Han. I don't know. I can't. It's hard to get a read on the deck. Like, how do you play it? Do you try to do Falcon things? Do you try to do like if the deck has one more dollar floating all the time, then maybe you're supposed to run 2 Hans to get the crossfire. Maybe like is Desert Recruitment really that good? Maybe you drop Watches in the Waste for the second Trust Your Feelings in Luke.
Yeah, it's a different take on deck building here. I don't think this deck is, a lot of decks you double up because you're saying, this is what my deck does. I hit these things, and then once that's flowing, I got this other toolbox. But there's a lot of good cards in here, so I think this deck's going to play differently every round, and see how it destroys Josh.
In stark contrast, the 2x deck actually running Executor and Lore. Oh, I'm hype.
Yeah. So this is your trusted 5.
Wait, Might of the Empire. This is tricolor.
Tricolor. Yeah, it's tricolor. He's got Masterful in that. Like, even if he doesn't find the Navy money, he can eventually get out the 0/1.
I mean, yeah, but that's
for both of those units. I think this deck can present a good defense, and then it's just going to pound you with black bombs.
But like,
crank that dial.
Is 2 Chimera? Like,
this is super interesting because you go from like having the light side deck, which is 3 colors with all 1-ofs, and then you go to the dark side deck where it's all 2-ofs with 3 colors as well.
the 2x Rav looks super sus in that though.
Why?
Because I don't know, I just don't think that pod's that great. And then also you're running Executor too, so there's just a lot of not defensive units in there.
Those pods go together.
Yeah, I think it's the idea is it's defensive enough, like Zizor, Palpatine, or Chimera. Then between Rav and Executor, you're gonna get a bunch of blast out there.
And there's always the dream of the Chuds triggering Executor.
It's always the dream.
It does have a lot of 2 money objectives. You can very reasonably flop.
Yeah, I don't know. First turn they play like Rex or something, and then you play Aggression. That's cool.
Aggression is a good card, guys.
It's mean. It's mean.
Oh, Colby, Aggression's a good card.
Yeah.
I might just wrap it up here with a take that hot.
It's a symmetrical effect that you control.
I'm learning so much about this game.
Me too.
I didn't say the pod's good. I said the card's good. I think the pod's good.
The whole pod?
Let's talk about Jim.
Okay, let's talk about Jim.
Let's talk about Jim.
Jim's here to defend himself, right? Oh yeah, Jim's here. Might be muted. Can't tell.
So he's doing a Rebel Jedi tricolor thing with Smuggler affiliation here. And no Cassian in this. So it's double Rex. He's got Hera. He has a Dodana. So no Cassian, but then it's got Luke and Guardians. He wants those shields, and he's double Concealed Heritage to, I think, smooth out his money in the beginning. That's why that one went up to
Just
2.
gotta find that Rex money, because that's just a blowout. That card is insane.
Yeah.
Do you
So
get the Rex money right away, or do you get the Dodana money?
Rex money.
I think you get the Rex.
Rex money, unless I really need, unless I have a color issue.
You are
Sure.
you are
Which I-
6'4" with the smuggler, so like,
Yeah.
you know,
What I like too about this one is between double Luke and Hera, he's got a bunch of 5/2s. So he'll be able to play that Rex money and still be on 4 resources.
so this deck is a fever dream of Jim and mine. Jim's been playing Tricolor Rex this whole time, and he plays Trust Your Feelings on Rex. That's how Jim wins games. Trust Your Feeling Rex, attack with a Guardian. You can't touch that unit. That is like Jim's core, and then you put Hera and Ghost on the table, and it's just so hard to deal with something with the Trust Your Feelings.
Because then I use C3PO to protect against Dunatinis, usually.
So the idea
and
here,
that's why we have double 3PO.
that's why double 3PO and the Hera and the double Cornhorn was a recent addition that we kind of talked about. The 3-cost 3-dot unit gives you an early force holder that kind of goes with your 2/1 money pods. And finding the Rex enhancement, like those games are so sad when you just don't find the Rex enhancement and you can't draw 4 extra cards a turn because you attack with the engineer and stuff. The deck really turns on when you can actually start drawing stupid amounts of cards. And then
Hey Jim, I got a question for this deck. Do you find that you have issues with finding guys when you're running the Rexes and the Guardians and Luke?
Yeah, I played a game with Colby last night, and that was actually like my first real run with this. Like before, when I had double Cassian, I had dudes aplenty. I have to be more careful with my mains now because the switching from double Cassian to double Corinhorn, I went from 3 units to 2 units each, and you're right. I have to be more cautious about my guys. You're absolutely right on that.
But like the way that Jim was playing it, and Jim can attest to this, is that Cassian just doesn't get his words. He's just kind of the body. The Chuds are good, but they don't. You hold them, and then I think Cassian's strongest card in the deck, the way Jim was using it, was Teamwork. So, and in the dark side is Mick. Is anyone else running Betrayal in the Ocean besides Jim?
No, Jim's the only person running Betrayal in the Ocean.
Wait, isn't that the 6th brother?
That's the 6th brother. Yep.
Yeah, he's good. Wait, no one else is running the Inquisitor package?
Well, there's some other people on Inquisitors, but not 6th brother. So you're going to see a lot of decks with Power of the Dark Side, but Jim and a few other people took this in the direction of a more Sith-centric direction. So we got double Mara in there, I think, for some counterattacking. Double Janus, that's super interesting. I think
The event's
administrative
really good.
attainments, that's going to turn some stuff off, and even the Chud, he could be good against all the little Guardians running around as well.
Also beats the Phantom.
So I'm a little behind, and I was just reading pods to like figure out what was happening with his light side deck. You said Pilot Boba is like in the dark side pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this light side, Jim's light side, is going to suffer really bad against Pilot Boba. The ship and Concealed Heritage that you can load up, it obviously doesn't care about it, but like losing Luke or the main from Concealed Heritage is going to be really bad. And like losing Cassian, like not having Cassian means you really can't stop it anymore.
But Jim's got enhancement everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Boba
got
can't
Trust Your
eat something with
Feelings
a stick.
lightsaber and all the quarter
Yeah.
horn enhancements.
Yeah, you have to be like super careful if you're playing against DS Boba. Like if you don't have an enhancement on a guy, it's going to feel miserable if you lose it because the unit count is just so low.
Yeah, like captured is just rough.
I mean, I also have Ghost Terra.
Like the Ghost and the Phantom are both ways
That's true.
to.
The Phantom can protect against.
And,
Yeah,
and
it's
the
like a
Ghost
one-up,
does
right?
too. Can't eat Rex with the Ghost out.
This is why we need Aura.
No, nobody.
Concealed Heritage seems like a really good pod, though.
Yeah, it is solid.
Yeah, his father's message I like a ton, and for like the discard and being able to play like off-color shit, that's kind of sweet.
It smooths out a lot of first turn plays too when you're trying to play a 2-1 money.
Does anyone ever is anybody ever dropping 5-drops on T1 with it, like flopping just single resource objectives and then playing like an Obi-Wan or something?
I would rather just flop the 2 money objective.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if you don't have one, and you can just play a 5-drop on turn 1.
It is cool
And,
to pull it from the deck sometimes.
Jedi Reflexes seems really, really good too.
It's better on paper than in practice, but it's still good in practice.
Well, I mean,
it normally means 2 guns.
In an expanded card pool with May the Force be with you, Jedi Reflexes is absolutely absurd.
It's busted.
Yeah, was there any reason that you guys settled on that being unit instead of character?
I don't think.
Is it like super funny with like other on any of the other ships or anything? Any of the Jedi ship shit?
It's got to be a Jedi ship, and I mean, what do you like? The thing is, if you're winning an edge battle on the light side with the Jedi deck, your strike is disgusting anyway. So it's really for when you lose the edge battle, and what Jedi really needs to like gets all that much value from striking after losing the edge battle, other than Yoda. Red 5.
I disagree with that. If you win the edge battle, yes, your strike's disgusting, but being able to strike immediately with Yoda, like nuke a guy, tactics a guy, and then strike again with another powerful unit means that they really can't do anything to defend.
Really what that looks like in practice is here comes Twi'lek and another guy and a Chud, and you get the Twi'lek and the other guy for a combined 3 guns. That's how that normally looks when you win the edge battle with that card. It's weird though.
Yeah, but like there's like no downside to either side of you play this. That was my point. Is like if you win the edge battle, you just get 2 strikes in a row. If you lose the edge battle, you still kind of won.
Yeah.
Using it when you lose the edge battle is generally how you'll be using it, but if you win the edge battle, it's even better. In this kind of limited card pool, it feels like it plays fine.
And the other thing about unit is the pod is about having a pilot on a Jedi ship. You want to be able to use it on the piloted ship.
Yeah, and that's what I was asking. Is there like in practice has it been good on ships, or has it been like it being unit not really mattered a ton? And it's mostly just characters you're using it on anyway.
The answer is when we were testing it, Yoda's a problem, but you can't design your whole game about oops, we made Yoda. You can, but
I guess Sabine can paint something.
That's cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Jim's dark side deck. Sith Navy. Sith Gladiator. This deck has a lot of edge. That's the other thing that this deck does.
Yeah, it brings out Steve's. It's got tons of gladiators.
And then it's got the Chud from your pod.
Got the Chud from my pod. Yeah.
And the other brother, the brother from Order. So this deck has edge 4 routinely. But you have to bring all of your guns to use it. It's a little tricky.
So I'm really looking forward to the fate card and Betrayal in the Ocean, Chilling Aura, just turning off side's attack.
Turns off Rex, Ugh,
You just blank Rex.
that's brutal.
Blank triple tactics Yoda.
Yeah. All right.
It'll be mean.
Um,
Okay, RC Howell.
Mr. Howell, bringing Ren Squad, bringing the Echo Caverns with.
Yeah, so this is kind of a ship build with Rogue Squadron Assault, Secret Ashanti Pole, Concealed Heritage, and we have Biggs in here, and one little yellow money of Renegade Squadron Mobilization.
This
I always
is a
think that's
cool
fun.
list.
Got one Rex in it.
This is Concealed Heritage. Like this is Concealed Heritage enabling a deck. I really like this list. Oh, and
yeah, really, I just put Rex in there to make sure I had the influence money if I needed it. If I didn't get any rebel money.
Well, you benefit from being tricolor, so you'll be able to draw a bunch of cards too.
Yeah. At first, I was going back and forth between that and the Desert Recruitment, and this one just hit everything a lot better. With
Oh man, you got Biggs in there, so you can strike immediately with what's his name with Farlander, and then play a coordinated strike, and then strike with Rex.
Yep.
Echo Caverns to grab an icon pre-edge. The tricky thing here is Rebel cards need Rebel money. You have the Rogue Squadron Assault and the Lost Commander. But for a while, it's going to be hard to like play 2 Rogue Squadrons X-Wings in a turn. But no, this is super cool. I'm a fan of this take on a ship build.
Yeah, there's a couple other ship builds, but this is tricolor ships.
There's no Han in this list. You went Smuggler, but resisted the urge to put Well Paid in.
Yeah, I love that pod, but for some reason I couldn't get it to work. I felt, I guess, too much Smuggler held me back on having better resource matching for everything else.
That's really cool.
You wanted the Renegade Squadron Mobilization.
Echo. Oh, he's running 2 Cornhorn.
Yeah,
you gotta get that Echo Caverns early.
Yeah, so Horn is there. That's the only reason I threw Renegade Squadron in there, is because it fits so well with the.
You can reliably get it.
Heritage.
Yeah.
Also, Cornhorn on foot is meh. Cornhorn on a spaceship gives white bomb and 2 edge is insane, especially with reassignment. Like, that's the one thing with ships. It's kind of tricky to get more icons, especially in this pool without wedge. And running the Echo Caverns and double Cornhorn gets you those icons.
I do like that this deck has both characters and vehicles, so your Echo Caverns is always live except against droids. That's the only time that it's not live. But there's not a deck that you're going to be up against where you're not going to be able to steal icons. So,
right, there's gonna, like, against all those dark side AV scum ship builds, you'll be able to not just, you can move their icons onto your units as opposed to just trying to move them over to their own focused units, which is sometimes what light
strong
side
against
has to do.
gladiators. Oh, but you get tractor beamed. You're gonna get tractor beamed.
Yep.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Challenge.
So you got to get that Renegade Squadron. Throw Cornhorn on that guy, and then just
fighters only. Horn only goes on
really?
fighters.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, phooey.
Yeah, only goes on fighters. I mean, he can go on anything, but he only grants things to fighters.
All right, should we move on to his dark side list?
Yeah.
So we're seeing the Scum Navy sort of package heavier on the Navy side, with Might and Indoor Entrapment being doubled, Repair and Refurbish for Thunderflare and Golans. And that money in that Golan pod is so good for just letting you attack and defend. This is going to be those 6 Navy pods, that's really common in a lot of the decks that we're going to see.
It's a
But
good
he's
core.
going with it is a solid core, and RC Hull's going with the Scum Pilots for the splash.
Two Iggies instead
Double
of two
Zuckuss.
Bobas. Oh, that's double Zuckuss. Ooh.
Yeah, they're both pursuing things. Yeah, it's double Zuckuss
Zuckuss
and
is
one Iggy.
like Zuckuss. You get like 2/3 cost tactics as opposed to 2/4 cost tactics. And Iggy.
Okay. Zuckuss has 3 unique cards though.
That's good with Zizor. Not in this deck, but he'll be in other decks.
I will say that the uncanny one, that bootleg force card for a pilot, really good on Pilot Boba.
Once you nab something with Boba, then you throw that on him, and you just have 3 on the force. It's gross. Really want to put it
Iggy
on
as a pilot. How often do you play him on a Golan?
He goes on anything. It's a Sith lightsaber off of one of his 3 stand targets. It's good.
Yeah, but I mean, he gives a lead. That's the thing.
Four
So,
guns.
like some of these guys, if you can give them a lead, their value as a unit changes drastically, and I think Golan's one of those cards.
Yeah.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
Dude, Zuckuss as a pilot is wild.
Yep.
Yeah, he's kind of like Echo Caverns. I see a theme
But
here.
people need to share traits. Weird.
Yeah. I wonder
Yeah,
if there's a certain card.
Zuckuss is hard to play around. So I figure I'd rather have him on my side.
Yeah, and also the ship, Mist Hunter, being able to come in and then like steal a thing or just do the Outrider thing with actually good cards around it, where you can kind of threaten to always jump in on defense with the black tactics, is surprisingly strong.
Yeah, that black tactics makes that very valuable.
I've never seen running that as a 2x with the others as a 1x. So after the tournament, go look at the other Scum pilots. If you're running double Zuckuss, the other ones are pretty cool too.
I tried 2 of the Bobas, and I actually used that in the entire group round. And for some reason, there was something about trying to force Boba in there that I had trouble with. So I knew Zuckuss. I felt like I played better with Zuckuss than Boba was the main reason I changed.
I like the 2 Zuckuss. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this list. All right, who's next? Justin.
Yes.
Justin's here. All right, we got. Okay, so you're running Falcon. Okay, so this is spaceships.
Yeah,
This is
the more concentrated spaceship. This is the Akbar spaceships list.
How often are you winning on Akbar versus just like go wide, get attrition all over the place?
More so going wide, but I was running only 1 Akbar, and only recently I added the second for more B-Wings because I like the B-Wings off well paid. But now I've got a couple more dead cards in my deck, so I'm iffy about it.
How disgusting is Biggs in here?
He gets like edge 5, 6, something crazy.
That's how you deal with gladiators. You just get up to edge 5.
Yeah, all in on the mission.
No, gladiators die to Rebel Assault. Just pop them. As long as they don't have entrapment.
Yeah, I think Justin, I think you're the only person running defensive Yavin 4. So what's I mean, that's a staple, but what do you think it's bringing for you here?
The Rebel Assault. I really like the direct damage.
I thought you were going to say the Astromech. That's what I see when I see that pod.
No, yeah, see, I haven't had the experience in the game, so I struggle where to put the Astromech a lot. I typically might go on the double gun so I can try and get through a 3 health unit, but I'm unsure what to do with that.
Like, I can't play ships in this format because I can't play a deck that doesn't have a 3-gun unit. And Falcon kind of counts. Like, that's just how I see this game a lot, and that's why I look at the Astromech. And you have the heat. Like, the heat, you have double heat, so...
The Astromech wants to go on the Rogue Squadron X-Wings if at all possible, because if those guys double strike, it's just an objective kill.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a standard place to put them because you can just pitch hobby to get 2 strikes reliably. They can be good on other stuff too.
Is there any pod in the full card pool that you find yourself missing? Like, oh, I wish I could play this.
I haven't had the experience with it. I mainly drafted, so I haven't really built constructed decks.
All right. It's a good answer. I like that
When
answer.
you say you've mainly drafted, what does that mean?
There was like an online drafting tool where it would generate a draft pool of pods, and then you would make your deck out of that.
Oh,
Kind of
okay.
like this format.
Justin, have you ever heard of Mix Nonsense Draft format?
No.
Mick, give him a 2-second rundown. The binders.
It's communal deck building, so you're simultaneously with the 4 or 6 other people building everybody's deck. So you have your thumb on like the scale of 20% of every deck in the pool. So you don't want to make decks too good because then you'll have to play against them. You don't want to make them too bad because then you might have to play it. So you have to make decks that are somewhere in the middle, but that only you can play. We're all arrogant enough that we think we can do that.
The mechanic is he has his pods in binders by cycle, by like set of release. So you pass the light sides around one way, you pass the dark sides around the other way, and every time you get a binder, you take a pod out of the binder. So the decks are also like split up between old and new pods. It's an acid trip. It's wonderful.
If you want to play a format where you have like 2/3 of an idea flushed out, and then 2/3 of another idea flushed out, and then some useless cards to not finish anything, all in one deck. It's the format for you.
Yeah, that's my favorite stuff.
Brad, I thrive in this format. This is where I live.
I haven't read 85% of the cards in this format.
Yeah, we can't stop Daniel, and we discovered that the format's actually more fun where like you talk about what's going into the decks as opposed to trying to keep it even remotely secret. So it's like, wait, what jackhole put moisture farmers in here? Like,
well, that was a good way where. So I think in one of the drafts, Ethan decided Yoda was going in the deck. So then everyone else decided that deck's getting tanked. And then Ethan thought, okay, I'll draft the Yoda deck. And then he drafted the Yoda deck and discovered moisture farmers are terrible. so that's like the meta game, right? If somebody's just fixated on like one pod that's really good and they don't notice all the bad pods and they can't see the forest from the trees, you can get them.
Yeah, I kind of learned that format wrong because I remember looking at the decks and being like, oh man, these 2 pods were never like good enough to make it to construct it together, but like they'd be cool in this deck. And then when the deck came back around to me, I was like, what happened to this thing?
All right, what's Justin's second actually created deck? Found a way to find Shizor. Like, got the Shizor in there with the twist. Mm-hmm. It's the 6, but you got a sector lockdown. Yeah, that seems. Everything costs 5 in your deck, man.
That's my concern. And it was either going to be sector lockdown or a second Tatooine crash.
Tat crash, double twist, same crawler.
I want to point out one thing about sector lockdown here is that Stalker in a meta where everybody's playing tricolor Rex. None of their units match their affiliation card.
Yeah.
That capital ship is bonkers.
That's what I found in the group rounds. Everyone had mixed decks, so that's why I looked at more at sector lockdown.
For a while, I was mono Jedi, and I remember there was a Stalker mid-game had 0 bombs against me. It felt really good, but now I'm Smuggler, and that's out the window.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool decks.
Thank you.
I'm just looking at this list. How's your edge in this deck? Masterful's good.
Yeah, I mean he's got gladiators.
He's only got the Shizor for Masterful though. For the Princess scheme. That's such a good card.
Yeah. You're going to see a lot of people using double masterful, but not necessarily having unique units to on Zzor to go with it. I think people are attracted to it because of the resource acceleration in the pod.
It's cool. Yoda Man. Okay, we found Zeb and Cassian. Zeb Cassian toolbox. That's cool. Tricolor.
Yeah, pretty much. This deck's gone through a lot of iterations, and I finally played this in the last round and won with it, so I decided to keep it. But my whole idea with Last Warrior was just because it has the influence pod that sort of helps smooth out the curve. I wanted to play tricolor, but actually put in things like dice and balance OD. And
yeah,
then
balance.
after talking with Mick, one of the days we played, I finally added in Secret Yavin 4 to get some protect to help protect like Cassian and stuff with it. What I was surprised with just how many shields I've ended up playing the chuds from Cassian sets to get the shields as much as anything.
Yep.
Yeah,
And that's
they're
why
great.
Yeah, because they're not as useful when everybody else is playing off-color stuff on the dark side.
I mean, Cassian's inclusion in the pool makes people do that, but that's not
Right.
a bad thing.
Yeah.
But
Right. Then just other stuff is just things I like. So I was back and forth between two racks.
What's Obi doing here?
Obi's there just because he's good. He's got I like having the Wolfmen there. Even if you can't get him back out, like some of this was sort of inspired when we did the original, I guess, group draft. And I think Colby, you may have mentioned about with running the Empire and using Hera to give all the neutral things an extra gun. So you're giving you get the Wolfmen, you can give them extra guns. Your Cassian Chud can get the extra guns. So I was trying to kind of mesh it all together, but ended up toolbox.
All right. No, like Obi's still a pod with 3 units and 3 bombs and cards that come back for free, and Edge is a good pod. Edge Obi for 4.
Yep, exactly.
And all you need to do is like just have one good attack or one good edge thing where one turn where you play like 7 dots worth of Ghost OB and then you commit. That's a lot of money, but you know.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
My dark side, I don't know how Justin and I ended up with the exact same deck. We didn't really talk about it. Maybe it was from playing each other.
Snap.
I've got the same thing about Sector Lockdown that Nick was just talking about. So many people are playing tricolor. You're going to get a lot of bombs, except when I played Clark in our first match, he was playing a mono Jedi deck. So I hit what you were talking about, Colby. It was like worthless. I played Stalker early and got nothing out of it.
It's got 3 guns, 4 health, and a shield. What do you mean nothing?
Yeah.
Well, I got no offense out of it. Let me say that. That was actually how I ended up throwing
Who wants to attack?
to try to get some offense with the headhunters and the shield, more shields and everything. So,
How have you felt about dice in general? Because dice I was talking to Mick when I was formulating this card pool, and dice was just like, yeah, people are gonna play it. People like dice, you know. There will be a conflict.
Yeah. No, I like dice. I think he's an interesting, way to pair him with Cassian since they sort of attack opposite, goals. So, dice.
Dice is actually a woman. It's Lax Zivrek's lover.
So.
Wait, what?
What?
Dice is a woman. It's Lax Zivrek's lover.
Is this like canon or is this just a thing?
I mean, it's like Legends canon. Yeah.
That's amazing. I knew none of that.
I thought Dice was a degenerate gambler that was named something else and then got the nickname Dice for gambling too much.
Yeah.
No, I think she recruited Lax Zivrek into the rebellion.
That's incredible. Yeah. Oh, look who just showed up. It's the Doniac.
Hello.
Donovan, we're going through all the lists and you came at exactly the right time.
Oh.
Defend yourself.
Yep. Defend yourself.
Donovan, you can't see what list we're on.
Peace out.
No.
But we are on your list.
Okay. What needs defending? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Double Zeb, one Luke, a lot of enhancements, something?
Yeah, it's a 3-4-3 split.
Oh, well, Zeb is
double Zeb.
Zeb is double Zeb, double Rex. I've got
Yeah.
lots of influence. I went with Smuggler Affiliation because I can cheat Jedi in with pushing back, maybe, or the freelance slicers could get a maybe Jedi enhancement. You know, that sort of thing. I'm not super worried about it.
What's with the one Falcon?
It was 2 Falcon.
That's what I want to hear about. How did that go down? I think that's correct. I think it's good to do that, but how?
I had enough twists. It's expensive. I only need the tricks to go off once. So with a bamboozle or
that's a good insight.
A CCO. And also it's a little riskier, those tricks with Staz in the pool. But gotta be careful.
We haven't seen.
Have we seen Staz yet? Yeah,
in my dark side. Yeah,
definitely. But, yes, Donovan played a lot of Staz in just mono navy. Is this just mono?
Yeah.
Is this just mono navy with a green paint job?
Yeah,
that's some casting protection.
It's either going to be Sith or Scum, but I was like, I'll look at Boba while I play. But yeah, I almost put Utini in like a lot of people, but I was like, I'm not going to bother. If they have it, that's fine. But I would put at most one.
No Chimera.
What I think is he's got Chimera. He's got double Chimera.
Double Chimera.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
What I think is interesting about this dark side list, and we're going to see a couple more Staz decks, is you only have one Staz.
Yeah.
But you are doing double Protect the Generator.
Yeah.
And some people were not even touching that pod. So tell me about Protect the Generator.
I hate seeing that objective on the table. It feels like it's so hard to get rid of. The shielding helps, I think, to deal with against it. But then it's double promotion, really. So we've got two people. Let's see. Well, Thrawn, Krennic, and at least have double tactics, and then.
You did some mean things to me in the group round with those ATSTs.
Oh, well, the ATSTs are just beef.
People were telling me they're trash, but you put what was the card? Weapons upgrade?
Weapons up, only one of, though. I wish I could have 2 weapons upgrades, but yeah, 1 weapons upgrade seems to be enough when you find it. But
the cool thing I like about them is it gives you a self tractor beam target.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It makes tractor beam not dead in the deck.
Yeah, and then with that enhanced the Endor outpost and all these officers running around, yeah, you can do it. You know, get some surprise refreshes or double strikes. So yeah.
So Donovan, have you managed to ever rip the Staz event?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, exactly.
One of them is easy. One of them is just a better Thrawn event.
What? Well, I think maybe one of them was the kill a unit might have just been in play testing with James.
Yeah, that's the one I'm referring to because I've only ripped it once in like 20 tries. I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, no, but it's yeah, you know, it relies on people refreshing during conflict, so that's a little iffier, but almost always have an officer ready, especially mid to late game.
I think it might deter light side too from doing some of those like bamboozle or trust your feelings plays.
Yeah, a lot of these things, I like having one of, especially when people know the list, because then you have to think twice about it. So
good point. Also, it gives you the bootleg twist with the gladiators.
Exactly. Yeah, I was worried about not having any twists. So yeah, that one. Yeah,
the bootleg twist.
It might be enough.
That's what it is. Unless Brainiac is actually in the pool, it is strictly worse than a twist.
Yeah, but Brainiac's not dumb enough to outwit that.
Oh, you're talking about late development being the poor man's twist?
No, the bootleg twist that you get in a brown paper bag in an alley.
Isn't Outwit like the homeless man's twist?
I don't know. Ask
Out-
Donovan.
Outwit is you want to echo seeds? Well, seeds echoes instead. That's my favorite. But yeah, or just draw a card when there's no cards in the edge stack. That's fine.
I think that's what the card actually does.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's good enough.
All right.
Get to 48 card deck.
Cool lists.
But,
Cure
yeah,
mode.
that's fun.
What did
My man's bringing Wookiees and Antok.
Chewy is and Antok? Wow, look at that.
I'm surprised I'm the first deck here with Chewy. I thought there'd be a lot more of them.
Are there any other Chewies, Mick?
There's another person on Chewy. Yep.
Cool.
I think one other person on Wookiees here.
So out of 15, only 2. I figured it'd be like at least like 5 or 6.
Why? What have the Wookiees been doing in your games?
Just because let the Wookiee win's disgusting. Like sometimes it just wins you a game really early. Like it's like, hey, turn 1 Chewy, attack, and then before they
defend with
even can get
Chimera.
the edge, they're
Chimera
just
dies.
dead.
So we've had this conversation several times, and I remember in mid-December you were telling me that like the Wookiees are bad because they don't have any edge.
Yeah, so that's a separate issue. Rex solves that problem. So like the ceiling of the Wookiees everyone's known about for a long time, right? It's just they sometimes you just can't win edge, right? And so when Rex draws you 2, possibly 4 cards a turn, then it doesn't matter, right? Because like even if all the cards you draw are like 1 pip cards, if you're sitting on like a 9 card hand, how are they gonna block you, right? Like they have to figure out a way to maneuver. Like they have to plan their conflict on the assumption that they're going to lose edge, and people will just sometimes not even put cards in edge because they're like, why am I going to waste 8 pips here if I'm just going to lose? I might as well just save my cards for some other time and like try to win on combat tricks. And then meanwhile, you have this 9 card hand that only contains 6 pips and you win edge anyways. So like you can do stuff like that, and that hedges a lot of what the Wookiees do, because then you can rely on their actual superior icons that they have.
The other thing that the Wookiees do is pair really well with your other 2 X's. With Hera, Hera gives them guns, and the Phantom refreshes Chewbacca to let him deal the full 3 damage in 1 shot. That's a big deal.
Also, the Wookiees love friendship is magic.
Yeah, and you got that.
So
Was
they-
you have
they really
4. You have 4 friendship is magic, and you also have the Cassian shards for that.
Yep. So yeah, that's like the other thing too, where sometimes like if the Chewie objective is out and there's a Wookiee out there, it's just very hard to block in a way where the Wookiee isn't gonna whack you for 3 guns, you know, and or you at least have to assume that it's gonna happen, and then that might mean you just don't block, or you have to pray and then they have the 3 guns and then you get knocked out. So there's just a lot of guns that this deck can push and just kill dudes repeatedly.
That's kind of what Chewbacca was in the smuggler card pool. Is like, I want guns really bad, I'm gonna go get Chewbacca. And you're actually doing that with this deck. You are putting so many guns into the dark side player.
Yeah, it's guns everywhere. Cassian has guns, Chewie has guns, Hera's giving out guns like the free candy. The what's it called? The little derps from Gamma Run. Those guys also have guns, and they also like friendship is magic.
They love friendship is magic.
Antok has 2 black guns. Rex can get 3 guns.
So you and I have talked about this. Defend Antok over Dodonna, because Dodonna just feels like the superior choice.
Dodonna's a better pod. Like, I'm not gonna argue that. I just think in the context of this deck, like having Antok being able to get a 3rd black gun from Friendship is Magic is huge. And then he has combat tricks in a way that Dodonna doesn't. So like Dodonna has no combat tricks, whereas Antok has 2. Now they're not the greatest combat tricks in the world, but the event has worked out better than I thought a couple times. Like there's been situations where someone will defend and they have only one tactics, and you can punt on edge and then just kill the tactics, and then that guy that they thought wasn't going to strike them is now going to hit them. And then also the ship taking away elite can be huge, or taking away shielding. So like those types of situations give you just enough, and I kind of just needed some red pod in that slot, and I needed a 1-for-1 money in that slot. So Antok being able to give you all that was good, and he got the bootleg twist, so that helps too.
I think this is a really cool deck. I would have never built it, but I love it.
Yeah, my only worry with Chewy in the pool when I was looking at him is that Cheezor is also in the pool.
Yeah, I mean that happens. Like, but at the same time, people aren't like, not everyone's going to run Caesar, and even if they do, they're not necessarily going to have the event early. So
you're
you
also
could
not
still
building around life
could
debt.
still
You're
get 'em.
building around guns and let the Wookiee win.
Yeah, and then also like all the objectives in here are kind of gross. So, you know, yeah, look, Wookiee Life Debt's gross, but then so is Gamma Run. I found that pushing back the Empire is actually my most consistently strong objective, because sometimes it can just open up some really dirty openings when you have that extra dollar. Because if you have like a Hera and Cassian objective flop, or double Cassian flop, you just have $6. And when you have $6, that means you can go 4-drop plus Cassian Chud, or 4-drop plus Wookiee. And now all of your Friendship is Magics are open, and people just can't block you. So like
that's a cool
if
point.
you so somebody says Caesar away the Wookiee, and now I have a lot of money, that's fine. Or if I have the Rex objective and now you can't ever lock me out, that's fine too. The Antok objective kind of sucks though. That's the only one where you just bury it.
It can get you a free 4-stop.
Yeah, it's not like the worst. Like I'd take that one over, say, a duplicate Rex objective, or a duplicate Wookiee objective.
Rex objective seems kind of bad in here, honestly. You don't have a lot of expendable. You don't have any sticks.
It's just money. Like you're gonna have like resources left over. So when you have like a bunch of money on the table that you don't care about anymore, you don't have to play extra dudes. You can just leave the money open and then use it for Rex.
Okay, that's cool.
Sorry, guys. Is friendship allies?
Oh
Yes.
Yeah.
Friendship is magic is allies of necessity.
Cheers.
Daniel has never said those words before.
Fantasy Flight Games would not let me refer to allies of necessity as friendship and magic in the article that I wrote for them.
I'm actually surprised they proofread it that closely.
Yeah, because they don't even read deck lists. So like for them to read mixed article was surprising.
What's your dark side list? Okay, you got power.
Tricolor.
What is power doing in here? Is that a typo?
Oh. What's that doing in there?
It's just for Steve,
baby. It's just Steve.
It's just Steve and 5 dots, and Echoes is good. Echoes is fantastic.
Gladiator bringing in Palpatine's good.
Yeah, like the 5-pip edge card's good. Steve's good. The objective is good. Money's good. The kill spell, it's mostly dead, right? You're not always going to find the objective, and even if you do, you might not be able to play the card. But otherwise, like the deck's good.
Echoes
I've played
is so
Palpatine
good.
a couple times too. Yeah, Echoes, like another gross card. Like when you Echoes a Rex, that feels pretty good.
Echoes Luke, Echoes Rex, there's a lot of non-elite things on the light side that want to be unfocusing every turn, like with Cassian, with Trust Your Feelings, with Bamboozle. There's not a lot of Bamboozle, but put
Also,
Zeb
I've
on the
played a
force.
turn 1 Palp in this deck too, which was pretty funny. Like there's just flops where you'll have like Palp, Caesar, Chimera objectives, and then your opening is money, Palp, and then on turn 2, you're going to kick back the Caesar objective, so you're still going to have minimum 4 resources up. That feels pretty good.
This is a very high roll. What's the one Zuckuss doing in here? That's a cool thing.
So the Zuckuss, like that's kind of been a flex pod. I chose him over the Jawas because I found that I wasn't getting rewarded enough for playing Jawas. And the Zuckuss gives you more bodies, which is useful because like sometimes you're just gonna have like one gray money available and a lot of other resources that you just need to play something with. So you get that. You get 3 uniques for scheme, and then every
That's
now and
big.
again you'll actually play Zuckuss on a fully developed board, in which case you just play him as a pilot, and he now makes conflicts really hard to navigate. So I've liked it. The objective is trash, but you just bury it.
This is really cool. I really like the one Zuckuss in here. This is such a U deck where you have the cards that are here to do the things on the board, and then the cards that you're just happy to pitch. You're fine to pitch the event. You're fine to pitch the uncanny one. But you're getting these incremental values out of having 3 uniques, having some extra guys. Sometimes I need a guy in the force. Steve is just Steve. For anyone who doesn't know, Steve is the 2-gun free guy in Palp's pod. He's 2-gun Steve because Mick said so. That's why we call him Steve.
By the way, so the reason for Steve in here is that I found in playing the Navy decks that Navy, once they get set up, are pretty close to unbeatable. And the issue that the various Navy decks that I tried were having is sometimes they just can't get set up right. Like they just get ran over early. And you need some way to prevent yourself from getting completely blown out. And I found that Steve and Caesar give you your best bets for that, because Caesar gives you enough money that you can make sure you can always get that Chimera. So you're not going to have a situation where you're like, oh, I'm going to play a weaker guy, sit on my Chimera, and then lose. And then Steve, he can help you recover. So if you get hurt early and you lose a bad conflict, if you grab a Steve from the grave, he can help you stabilize both because he gives you edge, but then he also just gives you board presence, so they can't just like try to white tactics out all of your dudes and then clean you off the board. So he's been clutch. Like he has definitely earned his spot even off color.
I could never play this deck, or I would never build this deck, but it's fantastic. I love it. What's this missing from the main card pool? What do you wish you had?
From the main card pool?
Yeah, from what I
mean,
what would otherwise staple this deck together?
Well, for the dark side, I feel like a lot of this is good cards deck, right? So there is some level, like in particular with the Navy side. I just think if I were building this in a normal card pool, I would just cut all the Navy, right?
Oh.
Like they probably just wouldn't be there, because I do find that the strength of the deck is that you can have some pretty busted openings, and you can find busted openings within Scum as well. And
okay.
So that's a lot of what I don't love. Whereas on like the light side, for comparison, Hera Wookiees has been a thing that I think a lot of players have been interested in for a long time, and just simply hasn't been good enough because Yoda's right there. So when Yoda's gone, now Hera Wookiees looks like a more viable deck.
Cool. All right, let's go to the next one. More spaceships. Double Legends. New Republic's finest. Double Wedge. Oh, is he here? No, I don't think he's here.
No, Carlos is a Euro.
Yeah, okay. Carlos wanted to be here. I'm actually props to Carlos. I'm sorry, Carlos. It was too late to start at 8 Eastern for him. But I'm actually gonna go. I have it right here. All the Legends cards. Wedge as a 2x is so interesting.
Yeah, so I played against this deck, and it was, or a very similar deck at least, and that shield that Pilot Wedge throws out is really annoying.
Is it?
Oh yeah. Like it helps just sort of push forward with your Rogue Squadron X-Wings or Blue 9.
So, Rogue Leader, I have not been able to get that card to work. I want him to work, but he always just gets shot, even if he has a shield. but he's just kind of a good body. Wedge is really cool, but I couldn't find value in giving things targeted strike. But he's got it with double concealed heritage and the one other, Heroes Beginning Shantipole. I want to see this deck do well. I want to see this deck do really well.
Yeah, so New Republic's Finest, one of the things it also has is the event Do the Impossible.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Like that is why you run Wedge as a 2x instead of a 1x. When I ended up putting Wedge in decks, I'm like, okay. Also for the stand targets, he's got 5 of them between double Wedge, double Rogue Squadron Assault, and the Secret. So this is like, let's do the impossible. Let's stay on target. Let's do the impossible. Let's pitch the guy to Rogue Squadron X-Wing. This is why he doesn't run Akbar, because he's just going to do so many fights with so few guys, as long as they don't get shot by, Danny's 3 guns? I don't know.
Yeah, when I played against Carlos with this deck, he had a really unfortunate early turn. So I can't speak for how it looks when it's actually good. What I will say though is he doesn't seem like he has enough well-paid targets for my personal liking. I don't know if it was just a game that I played against him, but it did sort of feel like if he plays well paid, he's not spamming out 4 guys.
No, he's spamming out 2 guys for cheap.
Yeah,
it's like Rogue 9 and Blue 9, or Rogue 9 and Rogue Leader, right?
Yeah, maybe he gets like a pilot in there too or something.
I'm actually surprised not to see Antok in here. When I was making all of my Jedi Rebel decks that aren't just trying to go super wide with Akbar, I always found myself putting in Antok because the combat trick, because he's a pilot, he gets his cost reduced. He feels more valuable. Antok, if you're watching this later, make some sort of comment when I put it on YouTube or something. Explain where all the choices are here. Like, Owen's here seems a little off. I love it. I think it's good in here, but I just don't understand it.
It's probably mana fixing.
Sure, but it's also, you can unfinished business to Cornhorn. You can. It doesn't do Rogue 9 things. Rogue 9 has to be destroyed or captured, so you don't get the pilot. But you can unfinished Cornhorn onto everything. That's Edge 2 and a bomb.
I wonder how hose is he if he doesn't see red money, because he only has 4.
Red. Oh, you mean Rebel? Hose.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Oh no! So he just
basically. That's what Corn's for. That's what Corn's for. Right.
Okay, so Cornhorn. Then you would flop. Okay, if you don't see red money and you're not really unlucky, then it means you're flopping Concealed Heritage. What does he get with Concealed Heritage that unlocks him? Nothing.
Nothing that I can see.
You can't actually go grab an influence money. That's real.
You grab. I'm trying to think what he did when I played him a few times before we started the tournament.
You can just grab your Rebel. Like, what you could do, you could actually go grab the Shantipole money. That means your pilots start getting reduced in cost, and you actually play Hobby on something. No, because if you can't play Rogue Squadron X-Wings, your deck is in bad shape. He's like, his Rebel money does make other Rebel money. It's not like neutral. The back to supply and the pilot ready room are that, but it's tricky. Like, not being able to play Rogue Squadron X-Wings in this deck is rough. Even flopping 1 red and not finding the back to supply or something is also a little rough.
So you probably find a pilot resource, I think, or Hobby, right? Hobby might actually be your number 1 grab.
Well, not if you can't play red. Well, being able to tutor out any pilot. So this doesn't just say get enhancements. You can go get pilots. And like turn 1, or like when you flop Concealed Heritage, you see your hand, you've got 3 pilot money in there or 2 pilot money. You go get a pilot. You know who's not here? Biggs. Biggs just isn't here. They're no to stop us.
Yeah, you'd think that would be like a 1x at least. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out from Carlos if.
Yeah. No, Carlos, make some sort of a post. I don't care about clicks or nothing. You guys don't have to like the video.
He does often make very strange decks at first blush that when he plays them they work out. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one because he's clobbered me upside the head enough times that
Yeah.
I'll take his word for it that it works.
All right, what's up with the dark side deck? Double Garandon, Mara, Palp, Inquisitors. I like the old Inquisitor. I was building hard with Jim into double encounter at Stygian Prime, and then he dumped it. This deck doesn't attack unless your name is Mara. There's no bombs in this deck, but you have encounter. It's got the tat
This
crash
deck
for the
looks great.
twist.
It's just all the big Sith dudes.
This deck looks great if you can hold the Force, which it can. Until I play Yoda's Hut, but that's not our bracket, but that's fine. This deck ticks the dial 2 at a time, but doesn't attack. Is that good enough in this format against Rex?
I think it counterattacks a lot because it has Mara, it has Jawas who can just counterattack, get unopposed, lock guys out for a turn or so, and then try to go in and if the dial's ticking up 2 at a time, and you've gotten enough unopposed across the board, then you try to go in and take out 2-3 objectives.
So when I've played decks like this against some sort of thing with 2 Rex and 3 colors, it goes, I play a big guy, they play a thing. They probably pass. I play another big guy, dials at 3, they draw 2 cards. Dial to 5, they draw 4 cards. Dial to 6, or dial to 7, they're probably ready, if not a dial to 7 or dial to 9, with a board that I can't handle between Guardians, between 10 card edge hand by refreshing their thing, with Rex with like a billion icons and Trust Your Feelings or some sort of trick with Falcon. This deck gets points. But I don't like you. The Mara Shield's nice to stop things. Bones of the Dark Side and Inquisitor with this sword is nice to stop things. Garandon's probably actually better than Garandon's probably X Factor in that.
I mean, Bones of the Dark Side might be forcing Light Side to attack before they really want to.
That's what it's there for in the pool. Like that's what its job is.
Great. I will say that Shadowed Surveillance in these limited pools has probably been my favorite pod to play because I never look twice at that pod in constructed play just because there's better scum pods, right? But in this pool, you actually can see all of the things that pod brings. And that pod brings a lot of good stuff. It was just never quite good enough. But when you remove the upper crust of good pods, right? When you lose the Tarkins of the world, now that pod gets to really shine, and it does so many good things. Like the dude that just can't die is great. The objective is great.
He's got shielding. He can die in this format though. Seeds,
but there's a lot of times where he doesn't.
Not by
there's
a
lot of times where he doesn't.
Seeds is nuts. Double echoes, double seeds.
Seeds is good, right, Jim?
I beat Jim last night with the seeds.
Stupid seeds.
I beat Jim last night with the rough seeds on a corn horn. It was mean. I echoes the corn horn earlier in the game too. So echoes seeds. If you're playing against Carlos, you're gonna get echoes seeds because I don't know, just twisted or something. This deck will probably get dialed to 7 or dialed to 9 for free, and then not lose for 3 turns. That's what I think this deck's goal is.
I was on a pretty similar deck with a couple differences, but yeah, it's about trying to dial up high enough, just stall enough of their attacks with some tricks or a good board presence, hold the force, and then take the objectives that you need at the end. There were a couple differences, though. I had a Shadowed Surveillance in my deck, and I wound up cutting it for a double tap boba. Shadowed Surveillance doesn't have any bombs, and I was finding that counterattacking with Jawas and such was getting me unopposed. And also, Garandon's not elite. I wanted a first turn 3 pipper that I could commit to the Force to bring back Steve. So Carlos and I talked about this for a bit, but like he was adamant that Order of Inquisitors is an objective that you run ×2 or not at all. The best thing about the objective is
Interesting.
the objective text itself.
Mhm.
And I have, and I think Jim, you have it in there as a one of, right?
Well,
Wait,
yeah,
which one? Sorry.
Order of
the
the
sister.
Inquisitors.
Yeah, I've got it as a one of.
Yeah. Why are you doing one copy and not two?
To honestly, to make room for your pod. And
That's fair.
I mean, it's like originally the deck had two original Inquisitors, and I just found I didn't have enough bodies. And also, it just didn't counterattack, so that's when the Mara came in, and then Mara gave the two little Protector Chuds, which I needed.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, and it's especially if I have especially if there's a deck with a lot of guns coming at you, which there's like allies of necessity everywhere. Bringing in Palpatine without a shield is a little scary, especially if Hera's doling out guns, and so that's
and
why I went
the
up to the
Wookiee's about to win.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But mainly to make room for your pod and a different group of bodies.
Yeah, that's why I only have it in there as a one of, because I like all those units, but I don't necessarily want to see them all in duplicate.
Cool. I am super excited to see what Carlos says about these. His decks are fantastic. I think I'm most concerned though about the red in this ship deck. I think I would have chickened out and made Heroes Beginning into a red pod like Antok. Jolly Roger. Is Jolly Roger here? I don't think so. Double Echo Caverns. Always wants to see
Double Echo Caverns.
without Cornhorn.
Yeah, it's fine. It's tricolor Rex with double Echo Caverns.
Bringing in the Han Solo. But no, it's not tricolor. It's actually no Jedi. Like, I think this is the first.
You have Jedi affiliation. It's tricolor for
Right.
Yeah, there's no Jedi
Yeah.
cards
Yes, I did
in
mine
the
too.
draw deck.
But like Jim's is just a Jedi Rebel, and then a lot of them are tricolor with Zep, and seeing who wants to run that third color versus who's willing to get locked out, or I'll find the thing. There was actually a lot of diversity in these Rex lists. Some of them were only one Rex.
Yeah.
I think that is really cool about this. I don't think we've seen two takes on the Rex list that are really trying to do exactly the same thing. One Falcon too.
I ran a very similar version of this deck, except for Han and Gamor. I had double Jackson in there at the end, but and played Jolly Roger before the group round, or before he started in his group round. And I think getting an Echo Caverns out early and stripping an icon as I attacked, stripping an icon and then attacking, unfocusing Echo Caverns, stripping another icon turn after turn was sold him on the concept. Pretty mean.
Running the double to actually guarantee it shows you how much he values it.
And target of opportunity is good. Just ping a little damage there.
Target's real. Look at this 5/5 list. It looks like a lot of other things, but double crossing droid. I really want to see chain reaction on the Corn Horn objective.
So one of the things that double crossing droid brings to this list is that it has allies of necessity in it for dark side. So he can get surprise guns or just additional bombs to close out the game.
And a cheap unit, but yeah, the allies is a cool note.
And good luck having droids to pass the icons to Echo Caverns.
Hey Josh, is this dark side deck the reason you went with Scum?
Yeah. We have Jollies.
Yeah, because like he smacked you and Xavier, so these decks do look a little weird to me, but they have to. I mean, they have to win somewhat, right? These
I think
people that you guys.
Scum in the Cut was always my plan. I just like took a tour through the other affiliations on the way. Like I did a Mono Navy, I did a Sith, and then I did like 2 Scum decks.
It seems like there is a lot of work being done here to put double crossing droid in. It's instead of like the either the thunder flare or not the Staz, the stalker. I don't play those cards. I haven't played them in a while, but I like the double crossing droids in here.
So what the double crossing droids like? I'm trying to think of like what events you're canceling that matter.
He canceled a Rex event or a Cassian event against me.
Yeah, okay, I guess
it can cancel a deflection. I think that's common enough to at least have the option, right?
Yeah, it's a steep price, doing 2 objective damage, but
it means you kill
if
Luke
it saves
instead
your
of
board.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll cancel
right.
all day.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the other thing is, he's not getting a ton of value out of the double crossing droid. The dude AT-88. He's not getting the card draw very often, unless he's playing Tractor Beam, Alligator Face, or Fleet Repair. So he's just kind of using him as another 3-dot Elite Force holder. He's 3 dots, right?
Yeah, and he's got what, 2 guns and a tactics. He's good.
Or Chain Reaction. And Chain Reaction
is a unique Scum unit.
You can Chain Reaction Chimera. And I think you can also Chain Reaction Gladiator, but you would never do that.
Can you Chain Reaction the
Golan money?
The Golan money?
It costs you 3 dots to do it, but yes.
Yeah.
But also, like, there's plenty. Like, that is never a dead card. It's got 3 dots, and you float $1. It cancels anything on the light side, or it does the thing on the light side. It's a good card.
Yeah, I guess chain reaction on what's it called? On like a Rex would be pretty funny. If you just give your own guy like a million icons.
I think it still gives Rex the icons. The exact wording on it, you get to choose new targets, but like the effect, like Rex's effect is inherent to him.
Could you chain react Corn Horn's objective if you have it in your opening hand?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's a real thing.
Cool.
Like, and you get to refresh.
No, you actually don't get the refresh on your first turn. That's like an actual written rule.
I thought only white side didn't.
Is that true?
Yeah,
like dark side actually does.
Yeah, you can deadly sight someone opening turn if they use the home 1 objective, and then get all your money back.
That's mean. Okay, yeah. So chain reaction for Chimera money. Go play Chimera. And a thing. Oh no, go get entrenched defense money. Ooh.
Yeah.
Go get Zuckuss. Go get Pilot Zuckuss.
I mean, the entrenched defense money, if you're guaranteed to have that turn 1.
Yeah, but what if you drew it?
That must feel great.
That's
cool. This deck actually seems a lot better now. Now that I know that you could take the Corn Horn reaction.
You could even chain react Empire Strikes Back and bump the dial by 2.
Game points. Game points. Yeah, it's a reaction.
Yep.
Okay. Double crossing droid. I'm happy it's here. It's a cool pod. All right.
He's the one person running it. So
what's Xavier running?
Work for him. Akbar. We got Akbar.
Yeah, he was pretty high on Akbar. Interesting to see that he was on Double New Republic's Finest. I know that he was working with his lists a lot, and I'm a little surprised this is where he landed. But he's just going wide. He's going wide and playing bombs. Double wedge gets you more bombs. Yeah, he's going to blow up Turning the Tide. So something I didn't realize about Turning the Tide is it actually destroys another objective. So it kills Tat Crash. It kills Entrenched Defense just outright. Gets you all your stuff back.
Yeah, it's an auto win against Pilot Vader.
auto win against Pilot Vader. Yeah, so it's cool. It is a little annoying that it starts turning gladiators on because it gives them all of their Battle of Endors. And the deck doesn't have any Battle of Endors to take advantage of it. But he's just gonna play well paid. He's gonna go really, really wide, and he's gonna play a bunch of ships and attack.
I mean, Akbar's awesome. So I do like seeing that this deck lays into him a little harder than some of the other ones. This is full on Akbar, well paid red dudes. We're just pushing the chips forward, which I like.
And Jim's gonna play Chilling Aura against Akbar.
No.
Well, hold on. Listen to what Mick has to say there. What Mick said is the best tool that Darkseid has against him is a Legends Fate card that one person is playing. Right? It is that hard to actually kill the Akbar. You can just kind of put him there, let him get over focused. Like how is the Darkseid going to kill him? Boba Fett's going to kill him. That's the real answer. Boba Fett's going to scoop him up.
You can zap him.
Or Dengar.
Like
Interdictor.
Yeah, you suck him in with an interdictor.
What do you mean? You just pay on him. Your opponent plays the interdictor. You pay money on him.
Echo zap.
Echo Zap, well, I'm not going to commit him. Point is, if Xavier knows his opponent's list,
I'll commit him.
That's what the Echoes does.
All right, you guys. I'm just trying to say that there's no targeted strike in the meta. Maybe Akbar is a little better. You got to work a little harder to kill him. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm just saying you let him build. You make him push his chips forward with the big attack. All those things should be getting extra bombs, and then you say Akbar has no text, and now let's just shoot each other.
I'll go on the record and say
Akbar
I don't like
has
this
money
list.
on him too, which is great. Like he hits the board for 2 mana, so he helps you get wider faster, and then he says all of my guys get this big buff. Like playing Akbar is like playing an OG Squirrels deck, where you just have all the little babies, and then Biggs gives them all edge 1. You're like, I have edge 8 boys, and I have 20 bombs.
Who was running the other Akbar 2x list? I'm scrolling up to find it.
Justin.
Right. So you're running. Your difference is you're running double Doi4.
Yep.
Instead of double New Republic's Finest. Otherwise, it's the same list, right?
Yeah, and I was in the air about the New Republic's Finest because I quite like it.
Interesting. So, Doi4, I think, gives you more bombs.
It gives me an extra ship.
You have more ships, more consistent bombs in the black bombs from the astromech, and like Talon rolling or flipping the guys again. You have the actual cost reduction of Doi4 itself. I like
1-for-1 money.
the
And
1-for-1 money, and then red 2 does stuff. I don't know. That card's weird. It's got 2 health.
Yeah, that was the downside.
I like Doi4 here. I think that the Rebel Assault is more valuable than the Do the Impossible.
Yeah, the case for Wedge, I think, is less of that and more of the stay on target plus a good pilot. Right? Like if you're just trying to run a train with Akbar, you need red dudes, and Doi4 doesn't give you that many good ones. Like he gives you 1 red ship, and the 1 red ship isn't really the kind of ship you want to push into an army. But I mean, Doi4 is a better pod though, so there is that.
I mean, are we just going to split the difference and say it should be 1 and 1? I mean, neither. Like clearly, both of these players think that the pod they chose is the better choice, right? Like, I'm not arguing about Biggs. I'm not arguing about Hobby. I'm not arguing about. I don't like double bucket, but that's what these lists do. I don't know. I think I like the Doi4 list a little better. Okay. Navy. Oh, he's close to my list. Oh, he went to might instead of no gladiators double might. double boba instead of double tack crash. Double boba's probably good. I'm probably wrong to run no boba, but double might. I found it clunky, but the ships are better. Gladiators are smoother, but the Chimera and the DB20 are just better.
I think he was saying that he's come to really like attacking with the Chimera, getting that extra bomb.
Xavier has always been attacking, and I guess Boba has two icons. He said that he was like, you know what? Iggy Pilot has two bombs on him, not black, but they're two bombs. And running double Chimera and one tack crash double Boba instead of the way that I'm running it with the Gladiators and double tack crash is very indicative of the difference in our playstyles. Xavier actually wants to tick the dial. I'm fine hanging out another turn.
The Long Pursuit gets a lot of value in this deck.
It's been more popular than I thought it would be. Like, it's all over the place.
Yeah, it's super popular. Those Scum Pilot guys are in a lot of decks.
Gotta love that capture you can get.
The Scum Pilots from Legends don't actually capture.
No, but he got Boba. He got
Boba
Dengar,
Tack Crash Dengar.
The Jawas. All good stuff.
Yeah, there's some capture going on.
I wonder how many opportunities he actually gets to attack. Got to get those captured off with the prep and planning. All right, and then Letix. Is this okay? We have one more group after this. All right, what's Josh running? Falcon Box, Falcon Rex toolbox. 2 colors, 3 colors. Sorry.
Yeah, I decided to disrespect your pool like you disrespected mine. And I just threw whatever and didn't actually think about the light side.
That's fine. I mean, you can talk shit about the pool when you win. Whoever's idea it was to put It's Beautiful in with Merrick Steel was wrong. But that's fine. So what does your deck do? You're the only one running double Falcon so far?
Yeah, I just built good stuff that deck.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I find it interesting that you put Concealed Heritage in good stuff deck. And Zeb.
It fixes my money.
It does.
I pretty much almost can't get locked out. Almost.
Yeah. It's just a different take on good stuff deck than I've seen. Like, is there Han? There's no Han. There is Gamma. No, this is a cool deck. This is good stuff. There's no Haunting. You're running Cassian instead of Hera. No Hera. I don't.
I think Hera's overrated.
Who?
I think Hera's overrated.
That's fair.
She needs those rolls to really get cooking.
It seems like you're being very, very tempo aggressive. Like, if you can play a Falcon on turn 2, you're going in with your whole board. Yeah, Gamer helps you do that. Okay. How has Wolfman been for you?
Fine. That could have probably been another pod, and the deck would have worked effectively the same.
Okay. Obi's cool with Asteroid Sanctuary though. Dropping in 5 drops for 5 drops.
Yeah.
All right, what's on Dark Side? Just more good stuff? Which good stuff? You're running Zuckus too.
So I was mono Scum, and then last minute I traded Cheezor out. Actually, like 11 p.m. last night, or whatever before the death.
You were right. No. If you get, I did that once. And
Cassian.
I got Cassian into my. It might have been you, Mick, in testing, and I got Cassian into my captured, and I just had to scoop. Captured, cancel.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, so Cheezor came out, and he could have turned into any 2 pods. I just wanted some more ships.
So. Yeah. Sector entrenched defense good. Sector lockdown is also good. Double Boba, double Dengar, toolbox.
Tell me about Iggy D. Yeah. How did he make the list?
I figured there'd be a lot of Falcon. There's some money. The Chud's even good. and he's pretty resilient to Echo Caverns.
That's an interesting note that you're actually trying to play the droid for the Echo Caverns. And he becomes elite with Eggy Pilot, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir Ivanhoe. Is he here? I don't see him. Okay, more Wookiees. More Wookiees with Hera. And
Got
okay,
another Wookiee deck.
double Falcon. How is this different from your list, Daniel?
He's running Falcon and I'm not. So he's running 2 Falcons where I ran a Gamor and an Antok in that slot. But he's doing the same thing where he's playing Jedi affiliation and then running the yellow cards off color.
Yep.
But he has 4 yellows.
Yeah, he's going to be doing some bamboozles. That's going to be the main difference.
Well, he's got the 4 yellow pods, but there's actually no yellow money fixing outside of Lost Commander. The influence there. But
yeah, that was the big reason why I didn't go with Falcon in mind, because I feel like in my deck, so I have 3 yellows, but if I miss the yellow flop, I don't care. The only thing I don't play is Chewie and the money. Whereas if I play Falcon and I don't hit yellow money, it feels really bad to draw into bamboozles and CCOs and Falcons you can't play.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
No, I agree.
So
it's
that
fine.
was the
It's
idea
fine.
there.
Yeah. Chewie's only got one thing. What's his dark side? Tat Crash. Double sector lockdown with double Tat Crash. Ew, that's dangerous. Interesting. So he's running the dark side Navy core, bunch of 5 drops, and then sector lockdown. I find that the double sector lockdown could have been a Shizor. Like, that's what everyone else is doing. Values that stalker, wants to get bombs.
Yeah, the double sector lockdown, double Tat Crash definitely feels like a meta call where you're just like, I don't want to lose the Echo Caverns, and I want to get free objectives. But like, there is real downside with specifically double sector lockdown, I think, because there's a lot of these pods run duplicates. Like Repair and Refurbish has duplicates. You have 4 gladiators, and you have 4 Jawas.
It's really the Jawas because you can't play them. They have 1 dot for edge.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Intense defense has duplicates too. It's just like you could screw yourself with the objective.
Imagine getting screwed on the Repair and Refurbish Chud.
I mean, that'd be funny, but
that'd be hilarious. John Alf, I think he's running very close to Donovan's list.
He's got 11 pod decks here.
Yeah.
11s? John Alf, are you here?
11s.
11 is the best number.
Is
no,
it?
It's not. I mean, it's for Josh, but no one else.
I used to do pretty well with 11 pods, and I mean, the Rex deck is just you're drawing a lot of cards, like it's fine.
That's true. You by going to 11 in that deck, you decrease. It's not like you're less hesitant about decking yourself.
Yeah,
you can just keep the pedal on the metal. Just keep drawing 4 cards a turn.
And the dark side deck, it was 10, and then I felt like I needed a twist, and it came from Tat Crash. Like, all those cards come down easy. They're a little bit helpful, and so
you got twist. You got the hostile planet.
Look at
well,
this.
the deck originally only had 1 of those.
Double Staz. I'm excited for that. I'm happy about that.
Going up to double Staz, though.
Don't be excited about that.
So right, that is the only difference between me and Donovan. Donovan has 2 Krennics, and I have 2 Stazes.
And an 11th Tat Crash just stapled on the top.
Yeah. That's also partially a reaction to the last game I played, which was against James, and I had Rex deck and I had all the draw stuff, and he had Staz, and I was like, oh, I get 2 cards in my edge. Like, it doesn't help that I have 5 cards in my hand, and now I can't do anything with them. And so, and like the events are really good. So
So that's why I went with 2 stas. We'll see.
I'm hyped. I vote for John Off's dark side list, except for it has 11
Have you ever
pods.
killed anybody with take the shot?
Yes. And
Sweet.
How about with 2 take the shots in your hand and no officers ready?
So, but the sad part was this was against James, and I killed Luke. He had a trust your feelings on Luke, and I killed him. And he had a falcon on the board, and just brought the Luke that was in his hand. Like he, I was like, come on, man. But yeah, and I heard you when you were talking about Donovan's deck. Not giving initially not giving Projector Generator the credit it deserves. That is a great pod. People
so I took it as him saying like Protect the Generator's objective text is just disgusting and it's miserable to play against his light side.
Yes.
No, but John Off, you're saying the whole pod's good.
Yeah. What do you got? Promotion is great.
Dyer's the weak link. That's all.
Dyer's a weak link, but whatever.
He's got a black tactics, and he's an officer.
He's got a black tactics. There's like enough Endor around. You can end up with like 2 or 3 guns, and whatever. You know.
I always found that the ATSTs were a little bit tough at times, but they being 2 pip cards, it's fine. And
this deck is making those ATSTs work.
The ATSTs, if they only had 1 pip, that pod would not be very good. The 2 pips on them means like I don't feel too bad if I'm not going to play them. Yeah.
I think you're just drinking too much of the promotion Kool-Aid. The
can promote
ATSTs, they're fine.
Promotion gums up the board so bad, though.
Yeah, no, like that card is undeniably great, but it's just the excellence of that card is now seeping into the other cards that are clearly not great.
I think that Staz makes like having those 2-cost Navy units. There are not a lot of 2-cost Navy units in the pool, and having 6 of them, 2 of them coming from, 4 of them coming from Protected Generator, and 2 of them coming from Staz, to let you use the Staz event. It makes the double Staz make a lot more sense.
No. What I'm saying is we just heard someone defend Dyer, who's garbage.
He's
Like the art's garbage, the card's garbage. What are we doing?
The art is garbage. You're like, oh, what is this? What is on this card? You're right. The art is garbage.
The art is garbage.
But no, I'm a fan. I generally like it. My original Darkside deck was a Inquisitor thing. The reason why mine looks like Donovan is we were chatting and he had a deck with 2 promotion promotion to Protect the Generator in it, and I was like, oh wait, I love that pod. I mean, what it really needs is Callus, but there's no Callus.
No,
we learned our lesson.
Don't include 9 out of 10 pods Josh used to win tournament.
Yeah.
I think he beat Xavier in that tournament, which was a rough game.
Yeah, in the final.
All right, what last one? Last one is James. Last one is James. Hold on.
So double Falcon.
Okay, let me look at. Okay, sorry. Double Falcon, double Luke. This looks like more like what I think a good stuff list would look like, right? Josh has got like the double Falcon, but a bunch of other crap. This is James being like, all right, we're playing Luke and Zeb. They're each getting their respective stick. Those sticks only go on those units. The Luke stick only goes on Luke. The Zeb stick goes on him or the CCO or the Chud in Zeb's pod. And here's Cassian and Rex to round it out. I
should all forward.
This deck really relies on getting good hits with the Slicer. You want to look at your first hand, you're like, okay, I guess I'll play Slicer and Falcon money and kind of go off tempo for a turn. And if you slice into good, more money, into Rex money, into Luke money, into Zeb money, into Bow Rifle, you're going to win the game. And if you slice into just garbage and then you have to wait to draw more cards, you're gonna lose the game.
No, I don't necessarily agree that the deck is relying on Slicer. It's a nice to have.
How do you play this deck,
That's not how
James?
he plays it.
He
You-
puts units down and attacks with them.
Yeah, well, it's basically that, but I play it like the Capship deck. You just go sideways for a little bit, then you just go ham.
Oh, so you're just not you're not attacking with your deck of no elite units?
No. Well, like
That's fine.
you just build up the board, and then you have enough tricks to just keep going. Like the max they can lock out, let's say, is like 2 things, and then you just keep going, because you already went sideways. Maybe like think about how I play a Capship deck, right? I go sideways for like 2-3 turns, and then I just set up, and then I just go ham for like 1 or 2 turns, and then I go sideways again. So
Yeah, between Trust Your Feelings, Bamboozle, Well Equipped.
Oh, well equipped.
right, like assume they
Yeah.
lock down like 2 of your main units, right? You still have tricks that you've built up from going sideways. So that's why there's 2 of everything. This is a theoretical deck. I didn't actually play it in the cut.
Oh man.
I played
There it is.
Hey, sometimes you win. You win a seasonal that way with a deck that you've never played before.
Well, the reason I built
Played?
The reason I built-
that's a Josh joke.
the reason I built this deck is because I went Jedi Falcon. Jedi Falcon was very good, but it only went 3/4 of the way. So I took the theory of Jedi Falcon and then put in a couple of better pods that could deliver.
Yeah.
That's a cool statement. I like that.
Wait,
That's
what
it.
were the Jedi pods that got fired for Rex and Cassian?
The stuff that was trying to take the Force. So like Obi, Yoda, and then the tough one was Guardians that I had to cut. If I had to do it,
ask.
if I had to do it again, maybe I would cut Cassian for Guardians, but it was a tough one.
Like 1 and 1
pods,
or
James.
I
Not
think,
11 pods. Not 11 pods. 10.
I'm just saying.
I think
No.
this is the biggest 11th pod Guardian I've ever seen. If this was in John Elf's hands.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
But I just wanted to build a Falcon deck, honestly.
I love it. I love it. I think the deck is weird, but I love the fact that you're like, I'm playing Falcon, so here's the Falcon. What's your dark side list? Ooh, it's double Thrawn and Palp and Steve. It's Steve.
Yeah, so this one has no Protect the Generator, but it's saying, okay, we're doing Hostile Planet, and here's double Thrawn, and here's double Krennic, and we're going to have Death Troopers for days.
It looks it looks like a officer deck because it is, but it's basically a Sith deck in disguise.
Yeah, I dig it.
What's Palp
Just-
doing in here?
So if you remove Palp, it used to have 2 rooks.
Ooh.
And then I noticed that every game I played, I was being dominant in the Force. So I was like, okay, just put in Palp. It's just calling for Palp.
Yeah,
Even though
'cause-
Palp's text doesn't necessarily work, it's irrelevant
Yeah,
at that point.
Rook attacks. He doesn't take the Force. So you're saying that just having Thrawn, Krennic, Staz takes the Force, or Zed?
Yeah.
I like that. That's a cool theory. I like that.
The money looks solid too. You're at 7, so
Yep,
Yeah, it's
Staz and his commander are both troopers.
It's a control deck through and through, and then it refreshes itself with the events, and there's like little tricks here and there.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, let's talk card pool. I've got the card pool pulled up, and I'm just gonna kind of go through and do the Yoda Man thing. Yoda Man, are you here? Yeah, you're here. I'm gonna play Yoda Man for a second. In Jedi, we didn't see. I think it's just Ahsoka, because I have an Ezra and a Yoda. I think I'm the only guy repping Mono Jedi. Don't look at camera. Rebel. Turn the tide, planning the attack. Did we see all the Rebel pods?
What are we
they're all
doing?
here.
Yeah, every rebel was there. Jedi, we just didn't see Ahsoka.
Okay. All of the core smuggler pods, except for all the smuggler fake card package. I did rep that in the pools.
Yeah, I gave like there was no smuggler fake cards that made it to the end, but I gave the on the run special deliveries high stakes table a lot of burn. Initially, like just trying to see if I can make it work.
I had
So
a lot of fun.
like the intrigue was there.
Sith. I'm actually surprised and happy that we saw Executor Rav. We didn't see Jarek because he loses to Cassian, which is expected. I know Jarek saw burn in the pool. Janice. I think is Jim the only guy running Janice? I think he is.
Yeah, I think he is.
No, it's Sane. Big sad.
Yasane Scum is a cool deck, but loses to 1x's. Yasane Scum is cool.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like Iggy D fills the same spot and kind of better.
Yasane Scum runs Iggy D. That's the whole point. And then Navy, all the core pods actually saw
it's just Rook that didn't make it in.
It's just Rook. And I think I gave him the least burn out of my things. I played him a little bit. His pod, he's one of the 2 targeted strike pods in the pool. And has all the aggressive tools for dark side, and yet we're still not playing him. Maybe he's bad.
I think Rook he needs to be with Callus basically, right? Like he needs to be in like an aggro deck that has enough officers that you can cheat him in for $2 and then have more blasts coming your way. Like that's kind of the deck he needs to be in. The options he had available to him didn't totally work.
Yeah, Rook
like,
saving
I'm not sure him
Callus.
and Thrawn go well together.
He's supposed to support Thrawn, but he also has to support an officer that wants to fight. So maybe I thought Staz and him might find some parity, but oh well. And then on Scum, it was Boba Fett, no disintegrations.
Just double tap Boba that didn't make it in.
Yeah.
No love for him.
I liked him a lot.
Wow, I'm actually surprised how diverse the pool is. Yoda Man will tell us how actually diverse the pool is.
Yeah, it looks pretty diverse just from when we went through it there. I mean, only a few sets didn't make it at all. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Good job.
There's lots of wrecks in it, but there's so many different directions you can take them, leaning towards smugglers or leaning towards Jedi or doing all of that. And I think we have 3 or 4 outside vehicle decks, mono Jedi deck.
Yeah. And I'm super happy with how well received the Legends and M Cycle cards were. There were a lot of cards. There were a lot of pods in those that I didn't include. One, because I wanted to keep the count down. But also, some of those pods are ridiculous or bad. When I say ridiculous, I mean mixed pods, and when I say bad, I mean the other Legends pods. And like, there's a lot of really cool things in the other ones. And whoever wins this, Yoda Man, will you beat Daniel and then beat me? I don't.
The dream.
Whatever it is, I'm saying now I'm not designing the next pool. I'll talk about the next pool. I don't know what the next pool is going to be. I'm not doing the next pool.
Yeah, I highly doubt that's going to happen, Colby. But thanks for the vote of confidence.
Yeah.
You just need to do the first part, then Colby can handle the second part. Right?
Yeah.
But like,
fair enough.
My light side deck is basically just my worlds deck with 4 pods swap that needed to come out.
But the 4 pods are like 4 of the best pods in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like just swap out Yoda and Vizago.
Yeah. The deck doesn't need that.
Anyway, I've had a lot of fun with this pool of cards. It seems like everyone has taken this.
Yeah, this was a great pool. It was a lot of fun to get in there, and it was really cool for me seeing what players did with the M cycle pods.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I got to see a lot of the pods played against me in the group.
Yeah, and it feels like the pool itself was nicely balanced, light side and dark side. Mick, do you have results on light side, dark side? It looks pretty split. Light side's a little better.
Yeah, it's I think the closest to 50-50 we've ever come during the group round. As slightly towards light side, so I think light side's going to pull ahead in the
light side was supposed to
elimination
be.
round. That tends to be what happens.
I got a lot of pressure to make light side stronger than dark side, and I think I did without overdoing it, which is pretty cool.
There is, I will say, there's a bit less echo caverns than I was expecting.
I think there's a little bit less of everything that people were expecting than people were expecting, because everyone had opinions about what would be strong, and for once that was all different, other than last time, which was Jabba Guri BK.
I did like the inclusion of the fan-made pods, right? Because like, how many of those do you introduce is key. So there was enough in there that you could actually see them, but then I think that in general the non-fan pods were stronger than the fan pods. So like, if you didn't want to make proxies or read the cards, you can just play the other pods and be fine.
And I know a lot of
like
people who did exactly that, who just didn't want to proxy or only proxied one or two pods, and were fine because they played good cards.
It was a good balance between the official pods and the fan pods. Like only having 8 sets of official for each affiliation made it a lot more doable for people to want to include the fan pods because you didn't have as many options, but other stuff was good enough, like you said, that you could still just build from the regular card pool.
I think the best example of this is Pilot Zuckus. There's like a big props to be given to that pod because it landed as the one extra, I could proxy one pod and it makes my deck that much better as a 1x.
Yeah,
it was super powerful. Yeah, common. So people ran Zuckus.
So I think that's really cool.
I'm surprised there wasn't more Ezra. I mean, I get that a lot of it was because people were playing Cassian and Rex, right? So like Jedi gets faded a little bit, but I did really enjoy that pod a lot. And I personally enjoyed splitting Ezra and Luke a lot. So like in decks where I would have normally just ran 2 Lukes, I just put 1 Ezra and 1 Luke.
Well, so
you have more targeted strike bodies.
I had in this deck, which I have on the screen right now. I have right now it's 1 Ezra, 2 Lukes. It was 2 Ezra, 1 Luke for a while. And then I came to my senses and I said, I know that Ezra has 3 icons, or 3 units with a bomb icon, but even though mixed units are like cool chuds, they're still just chuds. Luke is an absolutely better unit, and Trust Your Feelings and the Lightsaber are just better cards.
Trust Your Feelings is huge.
Like Weapon Pull was cool, but it was actually pretty narrow because you had to have a Force user around to receive the gun. It was really cool to take a gun from the Guardian and put it onto Luke with Force Pull, and I still do that sometimes, but like I would rather just play a lightsaber. Liberation of Lothal is a cool objective, but it just helps me choose which money to float. What I'm getting at is Ezra's cool, Luke is better. He's just better.
Yeah, I'm just thinking for diversity, right? Like if what you want is targeted strike, having 2 guys with targeted strike is better than 1 guy with targeted strike. Yeah. So that was really where I think the value of Ezra was.
That's why I still have 1. He's a Jedi card. For anyone who hasn't, I would suggest to go look at the rest of the Legends pod. Like that was the ultimate goal of this, is to actually get people more interested in the Legends pods. I think the thing that people would be most excited about is the rest of the Scum pilots. There's like 2 more, and an 8-88 that's actually kind of strong. And then I would like look at all of Mick's crazy fate cards.
And for some reason, the Sith Heroes trial.
Yeah, that's not a good pod. It just lets you kill things with bounty like a year after it's relevant. But I wouldn't mind hearing feedback from just everyone, not right now, but like in the comments or in wherever, about like, should we do this again? Should we do more Legends cards? Should we do more fan-made cards? Should we try to expand that? I know that there's been a lot of people posting more things online. And I don't know what's going to happen with whatever the next card pool is, but I'm still playing Star Wars in the spring, and we should try to do something cool. Because this I think was the most we should push the power level of a card pool. Like, does anyone think we can push the power level of a card pool without just giving everyone everything stupid? Yoda, Tarkin, Imperial Fist. Like, what stronger card pool can you envision that is actually balanced?
I think this is about the limit. I mean, for what it's worth, I think Star Wars, when it finished, like if you look at the whole card pool, it's actually pretty fair. Like you have a lot of diversity, a lot of options. It's just, once you've seen those options for over a year, it can feel kind of stale. So, it's not crazy to say, hey, let's just have a tournament where everything's on the table, right? You could do that. But I think if the goal of this in a lot of ways is to mix up the meta, and to mix up the meta, this is about the upper limit, right? Because even with this one, you're putting stuff in like Chimera, Dengar's in there, Caesar's in there,
There's a Palp
Rex
here.
and Cassian. Yeah, so like there is like some pretty heavy hitters in here. And we're not that far away from just saying, here's Yoda and Tarkin,
And Spark. And the affiliation cards.
Oof.
Right?
At one point, someone had broken horn in this pool. Just saying.
Do you see him now? I think he became Chewbacca for very good reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. This has been great. This is a 2-hour fantastic discussion from some great players and some great people who are building some great decks. The cinematography is amateur at best, but the conversations have been great. All right. Last words, anyone? No? Great.
Thanks for being so welcoming, guys.
Anytime. Turns out this is a fun game with cool people.
This has been a godsend, especially since the pandemic. So thanks for doing this.
Yeah, that all that credit goes to Mick.
Yeah, shout out to Mick. Definitely, he kind of spearheaded all this last spring to get it going again. So,
well, thanks so much, guys. It's been a lot of fun for me to organize these and see what kind of decks are coming in and watch videos or live streams of games. I love this Discord channel, being able to pop in and watch some stuff. And then this most recent season, seeing what people did with the cards that I designed a while back has been really cool too.
Yeah, props to Donovan for making this Discord that just has kind of turned into the unofficial battlegrounds for like where people play games.
As far as Discord channels go, this is a pretty lazily done one.
Yeah, well, it does the job.
Yeah.
And like I'll be playing some games in here with Jim or something, and then Mick will show up because he just kind of pops in and sees what's happening. Like, just kind of do that, I guess. If anyone wants to stream games or record games, have me commentate over games, let me know. I'll do it. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. Let me know.
well, if Daniel's up for it, I'd certainly be up for playing him. If you want to stream us playing or figure it out, we can coordinate it.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah, I'm ready whenever. I'll go right now if you're ready.
I'm not ready. I'm going to bed.
I'm not ready right now.
All right, guys. Good.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Good hot
Yeah.
takes. All right, I'll see you guys. Peace.
All right, see you later.
Thanks.
Yeah.